Blessings and peace to you from the ascended realms of light. We who are working with you on the inner plane. We who are guarding the portals through which this light is pouring in from the solar logos, from the cosmic central sun. Christ light pouring in, light of creation. We welcome this light into your life, into your mind, your heart, your body. This light that comes from the source of your being, your one being, the part of you that is one with the divine. So today I want to talk about your sovereignty. That is that oneness. That is your divinity. Understanding how this word has come into being, you could say in response to the letting go of your sovereignty. How did that happen? And some awoke and began to realize and to come out of this place of being held by an illusion of loss of your sovereignty. And I say illusion because to begin with it was an illusion, and then it became a reality that you did, many of you, lose your sovereignty. What does that mean? What is sovereignty? Because sovereignty is who you are. You are a sovereign being. You are a free soul. You are one with the divine. You are the embodiment of divine presence. You are totally free, sovereign beings, every single one. So I wonder why you think, any of you, that you would have given that up. Or do you even realize that you have given it up? Can you see in some of the events going on within your world how that is the kind of, if you like, the red flag that is being waved in front of you, this danger, this flag of danger, this feeling of, oh, I can't choose what to do, I'm being told what to do, and I don't actually like what I'm being told. And then you realize, oh, but my neighbor likes to be told what to do, and they don't seem to mind. Is there something wrong with me? Well, the only thing that would be, in that sense, wrong, or in my words, right with you, is that you have a sense of your sovereignty. You don't like to be told what to do by anybody, actually. And that is the truth, the deep truth about your divine being, is that in all the negotiations that you have with other human beings, the first thing you notice is, are they honoring my sovereignty, my wholeness, my at-one-ment with the divine? Do they honor and respect me? Now, in that sense, it has become a story of how some beings come forward and they are called the sovereign, and everybody else is not sovereign. What is that? Why is that? Who made it so? Well, not the divine beings, not the creator beings. The creator beings always say to you, and they come through in many different times as messengers, as messiahs, if you like, of the Christ light. And they say to you, you have a direct relationship with the divine. You are free. You are sovereign. You have that total independence, that freedom of deciding how you will be, so long as you cause no harm, that you do not tread on the sovereign rights of anyone else, providing you bring light forward and you are connected with the divine, and all of your actions are in creation of more sovereignty for more people. So you can see now that in your world, that is really playing out on the world stage. In one sense, you could say, oh, it's always been playing out, you know, people fighting for sovereignty, people fighting for supremacy, right? I've now killed most people, so I'm the sovereign. Well, that is a complete twist and not at all what being sovereign means. Being sovereign means being in harmony with the divine, being free and a creator being. But creator beings create goodness, beauty, wealth for all, abundance, more freedom, more. They create this wonderful energy, and their creations are desired and wanted by all. You know, many sovereign beings are, in that sense, coming forward as creators, artists, you know, inventors, people who have incredible imagination, musicians, you know, people who are able to create realities that lift people up. Now, you also have beings who claim independence and, in a sense, pretend to be sovereign, but they are harming you, harming each other. They are bringing darkness, they are bringing death and destruction, and they are harming innocent people. And that's not what I would call sovereign. They have, in a sense, tricked you out of your sovereignty. That cannot last. That is not sustainable. That is not love. That is not light. And that is not connected to the divine source. And so true sovereignty is basically ultimate goodness within your being. And to attain to true sovereignty, you will have to work inside yourself. And that is the work that I bring forward, and many ascended beings do bring forward, for you to work on yourself, to change the places where, without realizing it, you had your power taken, your sovereignty taken, you got wounded, you got damaged, you got robbed, and from that point of view, betrayed. And that's what you got to work on. You got to realize, actually, you are sovereign, and somewhere down the line, you let that happen. And then you're angry with yourself because there really is no one else to be angry with. But it's a very deep journey. The journey of recovery from the loss of your sovereignty, of your independence, of your at-one-ment with the divine. That journey is very deep and involves a lot of healing, a lot of soul retrieval, a lot of deep understanding, and compassion and love of yourself. And that's really the work I do with you, is to help you come back to the realization of the beauty of your being, of your oneness with the divine. That is what sovereignty means. You're not sovereign over anybody. That's a complete misnomer. There are no rulers other than the rulers you choose. And if you choose to delegate, your sovereignty to someone else, beware and understand that at one point you will want that sovereignty back. You're not really giving it. You're sort of lending it, or just pretending, if you like, that you can't be in control of yourself in some way. You can't manifest the divine presence. You see, because that is what you're here to do. And so this journey is, for you, upon the earth, very, in some ways, intricate, as you come to realize the repercussions. They can be from other lives, when you have found yourself in very compromising situations, when you have tried your very best to free yourself, and you have found yourself betrayed, and you absolutely know that it wasn't your choice, and somehow you got tricked, and you got to track back. And it might be in another life before that. But you got to find the moment where you chose either to experience a form of loss of power, slavery. You chose it, and then you needed to come back from it. Or you didn't see yourself giving away your power. There is a moment in your evolution where this can happen. Well, it always is that happens. Because when you start out your journey from the divine source, you are sovereign. You have the intention to manifest the divine creation, the divine plan. And then You see, what you got to realize is that beings who depart from that source energy, from the divine, well, they are into trickery of all sorts. They're into tripping you up. They want your energy. They will lure you over here, distract you over there. And so, yes, it is an intricate journey to, in that sense, travel a straight line, you could say, or be as a dart from the heart divine and never get deviated or tempted aside from that path. So within you, you understand, I know that you can hear me, that what has to happen is that you track back, you own, and right now you can just do it in the moment and just own that if you don't feel free, if you're afraid of losing your freedom, if you feel you've already lost your freedom, if you're in fear of any kind, of the power of another, what it actually means is that you got to work on yourself. And so as we work together, what happens is we get in touch with these places because they're inside you. The places where you feel the loss of power are actually the portals where you can regain your power. So that's why upon your earth at this time it's become so very graphic, that you find yourselves, many of you, in a very polarized situation, that you feel powerless perhaps. You feel things are being done to you or could be done to you that you don't want. And that is a kind of threat hanging over your head. And you have to understand, it could happen unless you change inside. That's why it's there. It's there for your soul to realize you got to do something. You got to change your reality. You got to take your power back on the inside. Because although it might look like a global political, economic, social situation, it's actually a spiritual situation in the human soul. And not everybody is ready for this process because it's very tough. You coming back to be in your sovereign power, to basically be the one who says what goes in your life, to be in control, to have everything you need according to your say-so, your will, your desire, your vision. That is a big work. The sooner you start it, unless you've already started, of course, the better. Because what happens as soon as you make that invocation, that affirmation, I am sovereign, I am the living spirit within this body, I am the embodiment of the divine, I am whole and complete unto myself. None other shall rule me, for I am one with the divine. I bring in the divine presence. I am the love. Because sovereignty is love. There cannot be any sovereignty without love, without goodness, without beauty, peace, and harmony. A sovereign being brings in beauty, peace, and harmony. Knows that no one has the right to push them around, to tell them what to do. But this you can see if you look out across humanity, that there are many beings born right now, and they're not even going to start that process. But if you're here talking to me, it's very likely you are either starting it or about to start it, or you're well on your way with the process of reclaiming your divine true self, your higher self, your ascended self, your sovereign self. The self that is authentically one with the divine, who no one can tell what to do. You who decide, you who are in the driving seat of your life. And it's really not important to look out and say, well, they don't, and I got these friends over here, and they don't agree, and no. It's not of importance who agrees or whether you're like anyone in your life. What matters is, do you understand my words? Do you understand that this is your great opportunity, that the whole universe, all of reality is shifting like the plates underneath the earth, underneath the oceans. Everything is shifting. The earth is shifting. It's shifting, if you could say, in its orbit. Everything is changing. And so, of course, you have an opportunity to make an enormous shift in your own awareness, to change your own reality. So how much do you want to do that? Do you realize what an extraordinary opportunity you are given in this time to grow in your awareness of what it means to be one with the divine, to be sovereign, to be completely free? Have you imagined that? To be free. What does it mean? You're probably so used to being shackled in one way or another, you can't even imagine being free. Well, I ask you to imagine it. What would it feel like? You might think it's to do with money or to people, relations. It's not. It's nothing to do with anybody else or anything else. It's literally a state of being within you. It's a thought form. It's a belief system. It's a reality. And as you claim it or embody into it, you realize, oh my goodness, there's all this I have to deal with. You realize that, yes, it involves everything. It does involve all your relationships. It does affect money and all of your life and the flows of your creativity. But it's not the other way around. You becoming empowered and connected to the divine, you claiming your life as your own creative vessel, you deciding that you literally want to embody the most glorious and beautiful self you possibly can. That's an intrinsic decision on your spiritual path. It doesn't depend on anybody else. It on one level shouldn't be affected by anybody else, and it won't be once you completely embody that state of being. But there's so much to work at, and you will be triggered this way and that, and so-and-so fell out with me, so-and-so walked away, so-and-so shouted at me, someone called me an egoist, someone told me I didn't care about them because I wouldn't come off my belief system. Oh my goodness, and so many people will say that you are full of yourself and you're proud and you don't care about anybody else and you don't understand the pain of people who are, in that sense, tethered down by some kind of poverty or condition of being that makes them feel not in control of their life. And so it really becomes a very challenging journey for a time until you completely accept that that's got nothing to do with you, that other people reacting to your journey of coming into your power, coming into your divine ownership, that's your journey, that's your decision, and that ultimately you will draw towards you those people who completely understand, who in themselves are also sovereign beings and who are not at all threatened, who understand completely that it is a state of being, and it is a state of being that connects to the divine. It's your true state. Freedom. Freedom to make your movements in relation to the divine, to the one being, to the cosmic creator. That's the being who basically is pouring the light through you. And it's not that you're not sovereign and that being is over you. No, you're one with this being. Of course you're sovereign if you are one with the divine. But that's not an egoic statement. It's a spiritual statement. And it really matters for every soul here on earth at this time. And it's becoming very, very acute in your world. It's very obvious to you, this process that's going on. So breathing in, dear one, really feeling what I'm saying. Feel anywhere in your life where, well, you don't feel you could just snap your fingers and change it. Feel anywhere in your life where you've given away some power, where you feel controlled by another, or by another's thought forms perhaps, or by the system of the world that you find yourself in. any way that you feel forced to do anything that you don't freely choose to do. I'm sure there's a lot of it, and don't feel sort of guilty or think there's anything, unusual about that. This is the general state of humanity. But you're about to make a big step in your life and choose to work on yourself, to make changes. And you see, that's what you're here for, to grow, to evolve, to claim your wholeness, which is the same as your sovereignty. It really matters. Your soul journey, your soul's evolution, that's what this great opportunity at this time on earth is for. It's laid out for you. It's just literally being shown to you piece by piece that this is the time for you to come out of an old paradigm where you have not been free and create a new one where you are. However difficult that may seem to you, however caught you may feel in this, what I'm going to call an old paradigm matrix that is in a sense designed to disempower you. However much you may feel caught in that, I want you to realize it's just like wriggling out of a net. The hole has been torn. You can wriggle out, but you got to wriggle. You got to free yourself of this old paradigm that's clinging to you like a net. Something that you did choose, but that now you can unchoose. You need to unchoose it. You seriously need to choose something else, and you can. The steps towards it are where you own how bad you feel actually in this claustrophobic and hemmed in and shut down and suppressed situation in your life, if that is so for you. And of course, if you're already well on your journey, well, you just keep going, releasing those bits, those ties, cutting ties with the old paradigm, with the old way of being, where you think you have to give anything up at all in order to have your freedom. No, on the contrary, you have to take on more to have your freedom, more responsibility, more divine connection, more personal power, more belief in yourself. Because even just to be free is a big journey. So I really do invite you to start in a simple way, nothing political, nothing, no action as such, other than inside yourself, to track the parts of you that don't feel free. First, you track them. Usually they go back to the childhood. Sometimes they go past the birth and into another life. Sometimes they will shoot into a life, several hundred years ago. Because you see, you have to own all of you. You have to be responsible for what is being shown to you about you. And what's so easy is to get very distracted by someone else's effect on you, or by someone else's reality that takes you off, away from you building you. So that's the first thing, is to really understand, I got to track back, and I got to find these moments, and they can be feelings, they don't have to be, I remembered exactly a past life, but it's a sense that you will be shown by your higher self of, I remember giving my power away. I remember losing something that I once had inside my heart and inside my belly. And you will remember it. Sometimes it goes right back to when you were a caveman. Sometimes it goes right back to when you were on another planet. Sometimes it will go back to golden ages upon the earth, Lemuria, Atlantis, different times when you may have been here upon the earth a long time ago, and you experienced your sovereignty, your freedom, your connection to the divine, which was understood by many. Then you have to understand then, once you've tracked it back and, of course, brought that part back to you and re-owned it and said, right, good, I'm so glad you're back with me. It's not a golden age right now, but You can help me and all of us make one. That's good, because you know it, because I'm retrieving you from that time. Or you may retrieve a part of your star self that knows beauty, harmony, peace, and love from another constellation. You may have a real sense of knowing how different life on Earth could be from experiences that you've had in other star systems. So that's the first thing, is that you track inside yourself. When did you give the power away, or when did you lose that essential choice to be free, to be lord or lady of your own reality, to be the keeper of your own conscience? No one else shall judge you, because that's the truth. When you go to spirit, you realize that truth, that there is no judge. There is no external God that comes along and says, well, you know, this and that and the other. Not at all. You are your own God. You are deity incarnate. And as you realize that more and more, and you go exploring to bring parts of you back that, speak to you as you, in that sense, collect your multidimensional being back into the physical plane. This is a wonderful journey of reclamation, of soul retrieval, of self-realization, and of lifting up your life out of any stuck places. It begins inside you. And so whether you find me to work with, or whether you find someone else who you can work with, you have to do the work. You have to feel the feelings that are in those places of entrapment. And you see, that's actually what's happening to all of humanity, if all beings didn't but know it. They're being shown, and some of you as well, being shown just how stuck and trapped you've allowed yourself to become. And so the first step is this decision of stepping out of that entrapment, bringing off the ties that bind, bringing yourself out of that claustrophobic, that feeling of belonging to another thought form that actually isn't yours, that another thought form is somehow ruling your reality. Why, when you think about it, would it be so? Only because you let it be so. Somewhere you let it be so. So it's taking responsibility. And if you can track back to when that was, bringing that part of you back that just didn't know, that trusted and just didn't realize, that in that sense, didn't realize you were being betrayed. But it matters to realize. And even if it's retrospective, it seems to be about the past. It's not, it's about now. Because that which you did not realize then, you have to make a move now and make a change. And bring back to you the part that didn't realize then, and that wants to wake up now. And be in full self-realization of your divine nature, of your free sovereign nature, of being at one with the divine, of needing no one unless you wish to collaborate with some to do certain tasks that you choose that each one shall do. But really life is a wonderful collaboration, an opportunity to grow spiritually, an opportunity to learn to love, an opportunity to let go of fear and limitation, negativity, and all that impedes you from literally embodying your most wonderful, beautiful, sovereign, free, divine self. So let us go forward together. Keep working, keep walking on this path, because it is a wonderful path of self-discovery. There's nothing greater to do than become who you truly are. So I really welcome your sovereign self, your true self, your divine self, Yourself that is one with the divine and knows that's what you want to create. Is the divine plan, your divine plan here upon the earth, that is love, that is peace, that is harmony, that is goodness, that is sharing, abundance for all, beauty, truth, love, and deep understanding for all, deep understanding that is beyond the mind. Blessings and peace to you.